Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. It's time for a Victorian mansion. I built this one in Hanford on Backley. This is a 40 by 30 lot, so it's not too big. And I just wanted to work on something that's not modern for once. And I built this 1 or 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure. I kind of forgot about this one. And now I'm finally recording the voiceover. So here I'm working on the shape of the house. And you can already see that I'm here right now settling on a minty green color, and then I'm going to change it to red, and then I'm going to change it all together because, as you already saw in the beginning, the end result is kind of dark green. I had no idea which color to use. This was the biggest challenge when it came to this house. When you look at pictures of Victorian mansions, they are pretty colorful most of the time, and they have mostly some really distinct color schemes, and some of them are red, and they're really colorful and really pretty, and I had no idea what to do at first. I also like this red color. But I mean, if you are not sure what to do, you can just download this and change the color essentially. Here I'm using a blue color. You can see how I'm constantly changing the color, which is something that I'm usually not doing. Like sometimes I do change the color, but then just later on, so I just start to work on a build, and later on I'm like, no, I'm going to change the color. But here I've changed the whole color scheme multiple times, and I had no idea what to do. But it's fun to have a little challenge, and this build was challenging. Most of my builds are pretty neutral. I love modern architecture. I use lots of neutral colors like white, beige, gray, and black, and all that. And as soon as I really had to do something that's more colorful, I started to struggle. But that's not a bad thing. It's good to leave your comfort zone, and I just had lots of fun working on this. The cool thing about Victorian houses in The Sims is that you can add so much detail. You can already see how I'm adding all these columns. I added exterior trims. Then in some areas I'm going to use the shelves from Get Together to create my own custom exterior trims. I've used different windows, spandrels. You can just use anything really to decorate a Victorian house, and this is just amazing. I've also worked on some roof decorations, as you will see. I've looked at multiple references, and lots of them have roof decorations like this. I decided to use some shelves for this, as you will see, and the true mod. But as always, this build is CC free and unmodded in the gallery, and you don't need the true mod to grab this from the gallery. Generally, this is not a tool build at all. I just really had to use it for the roof decoration in the front. Generally, as you can see, it's just a house. And here I'm using shelves to create the roof decoration. I've used the white base game shelf, and then I tried to get the angle right. So I just decided to copy the roof so I had the correct angle, and just started to match it to the roof. And you can see I'm just duplicating this. This was a bit tedious. I also changed the position a bit later on because it wasn't perfect, and I just had so much fun building this. It was also cool to build a more normal house, whatever normal means, but I just had fun to have a just pretty regular, more realistic house, and the only over-the-top thing is this roof decoration probably, so I had so much fun to work on something like this. Also, my last video, I was talking about finally going to a birthday party again, like after the whole global situation had started. Like for the first time I went out, and I was so excited to just get ready for the party and all that, and it was really a great evening. I had so much fun. And even though I started to get ready early enough in theory, I was kind of running out of time. And I'm like someone, it's super important for me to be on time always. Like when I have an appointment or something, I'm like 5 minutes or 10 minutes before the appointment starts, I'm already there. Otherwise, I'm just freaking out. And this was a surprise party, so we definitely had to be on time, and we made it. But it was really really stressful at first. And also I just posted this picture on Twitter and Instagram, and I thought it's kind of time for a face reveal. Actually, I had posted pictures in the past on my Instagram. I think they kind of got buried, and this was like at the very beginning when I kind of started my channel, and I figured it would just, maybe I would just show you this picture here, because I know some of you have been asking me for a face reveal, and here's the picture. That's me at the party in pink, because I wore this hot pink pantsuit, and I tried it on at home, and I knew that the color was kind of daring and all that, but my thought was I want to have something really colorful and daring, but at the same time the pantsuit itself was kind of like looked very conservative. So I thought it's like a fun mix like of styles to have like a pantsuit that looks pretty like simple, but then the color is kind of fun, if that makes sense. And as soon as I stepped out of the house into daylight, I noticed that as soon as I was like in daylight, it looked really, really hot neon pink, but it was fun. I hope you also had an amazing weekend, and in my last video I was asking you what your plans were, and you told me like lots of cool things and your weekend plans, and I really enjoyed reading them and replying, and I just hope you really had a great and perfect weekend. Here I'm finally changing the color to green. This will be the color that I'm settling on eventually. I love this. It's not as dreamy as the blue version, but it kind of makes sense. Like it looks like a proper Victorian house, some type of just like a really old, realistic looking house. I don't know, but it just felt right. Also the roof swatch, which is dark green, and I just used lots of brown tones, wooden tones to have a nice contrast, so I was able to incorporate a warm color. And I also wanted to have a walkout basement, and I used the custom basement tool for this, as you can see here. I then removed the ceiling by clicking on the basement and going one level up. When you then click on the yellow line, you can click on remove ceiling, and I then just rebuild the area below the tower, the octagonal tower. So I just rebuilt the wall using the custom room tool, and I then just added more details. I added lots of columns. I was trying to bring these columns into the correct position so they would be right below the shelves that I had added. These are the custom roof trims that I had mentioned. It's just always a great idea to use shelves for a build like this. You can just add so many details. You can add like custom roof trims on different levels. If you really enjoy really detailed and intricate builds, then this might be for you. So I totally recommend doing this. And I mean, after all, we even have lots of shelves in the base game, lots of fun swatches, so anyone can do something like this. And here I decided to add some windows to the foundation. So this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because it's just a foundation, but I just wanted to create the illusion of having another level or something. I then added stairs, and I was then running into a problem that I had noticed a while ago. When you build a basement like this and you want to add some stairs, it's not really letting you, like it's telling you, I don't know, some weird error. So I just had to bring the stairs into this weird position, which I don't like because I now have a really unpleasant gap in between the railing and the fence, but I just did it this way either way. And I then just decorated more using some corbels in a green swatch. These are from Cottage Living, I think. And the roofing was like a big challenge here, and I decided to duplicate the roof decoration from the front, and I used it on the right side as well. I had already created this, so in this case I'm always fine with just duplicating it, and I just moved it over to the other side. I rotated around center and brought it into the correct position. This way I was able to have more intricate details on the other side as well. I added lots of windows. The roofing in this area was especially confusing because I just had to manage to fill in the area in front of the fence. And the floor plan is a bit unique, as you will see. We have the walkout basement at the bottom, and there will be some type of room for gathering, but I'm also going to build some bedrooms down there. So some of the bedrooms will be on the top floor, some of them will be in the walkout basement. So even though this build is relatively small, there will be enough bedrooms, I think 4 maybe. There are enough bedrooms for lots of Sims, so you can definitely let a family move in if you want to. And here I'm starting to landscape. I took a look at some debug plants, and also the planting pots right next to the stairs are from debug. They're from the base game, and I added more stairs in the back to connect the whole area, the garden. I used some vines from Cottage Living just to hide the basement walls because it looked a bit boring, and I wanted everything to be very dreamy and green. This was an object from Jungle Adventure. It's supposed to be used on a wall, but I just repurposed it as some type of fence because it's not too big, not really standing out. This was exactly what I was looking for, and I added just more details once again, lots of columns all around the house to make it look better. And then I just placed lots of these bushes. The colorful bushes are from the base game, I think. I used a fence from Strangerville all around the garden just to make it look perfect and beautiful, and then wanted to have a hedge or a bush going all around the garden as well, so it looks more green and natural. I duplicated some of the plants because this was quicker, and I decided to have a big tree in the center, and this way I was able to separate the area in the back, which is going to be like some type of patio area where your Sims can sit and hang out, and then the rest of the garden is just green, and technically the kids could play in the garden and all that. So I have one area which is really like a typical garden and a lawn, and then we have this beautiful patio area where the Sims can just sit and have a barbecue. I used lots of rocks from the base game to decorate the bushes so it looks like a really natural flower bed, and I have a pretty narrow, kind of weird looking area right in the front, but it is what it is, I guess. I added a bench so your Sims could just sit there. And here I'm working on the area where your Sims can just really enjoy the garden and they can hang out and have a barbecue. I used this barbecue grill, which was added to the base game in a update, I think. And then I started to just make sense of the whole window and floor plan situation. I had to change this up later because it really wasn't adding up, but here I just decided to add another foundation piece so your Sims will be able to leave the house in the back to access the garden. So there are so many ways to enter this garden, and I just wanted to make sure it's all well connected and functional. And here I'm finally furnishing. I decided to use the counters from Realm of Magic because I wanted to have this really rustic vibe, so it really looks like a Victorian house. I decided to use a blue wallpaper. At first I wanted to use green on the interior as well, but the blue just looked so stunning. The floors are wooden, so everything is pretty rustic. And for the stairs, as you can see, I decided to use columns, a fence, and spandrels to make it look extra fancy. So this is where Sims can just walk down into the basement on the inside as well to enter the bedrooms and everything. I've used lots of wallpapers and objects from the decor to the Max kit. I feel like this kit really inspired me to work on this actually. I mean, some of you have been requesting a Victorian mansion, but this kit is just really, really inspiring, and it's just perfect for an old, intricate, beautiful house like this one. I used a round table, and I also wanted to incorporate a fireplace so it looks really cozy and beautiful. Some elements are a bit more modern, so it's kind of a mix, just so it looks more interesting, and it's like a fun mix. I feel like because of all the white, it still looks really bright and happy. It's not like super dark and gloomy. I know that some of the original Victorian houses out there are like super dark and gloomy, and I love this style in general, but it would be too much for me and also too dark, I guess. And I think here it's a nice balance. Also the glass table, which is from the decor to the Max kit, so it's a nice mix of really old-fashioned elements and some modern elements. And this is one of the bedrooms. This room was really tricky because it's really small. It's in the tower, which is kind of cool because you have all these windows going around the room, but this is also what made it so difficult to furnish this, so there isn't a lot of stuff in this room. It's like really, really simple. I'm later going to add the tiny dresser from Tiny Living, and that's it. I've wondered, like, when you only have the base game or when you are missing a pack, the game is replacing objects automatically, so it just replaces a dresser for a base game dresser, for example. But the one from Tiny Living is the smallest one available, if I'm not wrong. And I've wondered if I'm using this in a really small space, what if the game just replaces it and then no Sims can like pass the dresser and it's like blocking the pass? I don't know. I have been thinking about this. This is it, my friends. You can here see screenshots. I didn't include all bedrooms in the video, but you will see a screenshot here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are doing super well. My ID is KateEmerald. This build is available in the gallery CC free and unmodded, and you can grab the tray files from my Patreon. And speaking of which, it's time to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons. A big thank you to Asia, Saturated Spark, Shannon McClam, and Helena Lynn. Thank you so much for your huge support. A big thank you to all my other Patreons. Thank you to anyone who watches my videos. I love you all so much, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.